Okay, there we go. Okay, so trauma healing on the spiritual path. How trauma affects your chakra system and what to do to heal yourself. Okay, so we already touched on this a little bit at the start, but my name's Leticia Woodford. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. I'm a holistic counsellor, holistic trauma coach, health coach, and energy healer. So I do like Reiki and Seikam, and there's a few other techniques that I do as well. I'm just, yeah, the amount of positive shifts that happen to me with energy healing, I'm just like I thrive off it. I just like to learn as many techniques as possible. I've also got a mentor who's a Native American. He's taught me his techniques, just everything. So whenever a client comes to me, I usually just go with my intuition and, you know, use a little bit of everything, whatever comes to me with my intuition with that client. Sometimes they might need more work on the grounding, or the chakras need emptying, or just depends, because every human being has had different things happen to them in their life. Okay, so what causes trauma in childhood? Trauma affects us as an adult, but it affects us even more deeply in childhood while we're still developing. With physical or sexual abuse, this trauma is quite obvious, but there are many kinds of childhood trauma that you might not identify as trauma at all. So neglect is also traumatic, and so is the loss of a parent, a serious childhood illness, a learning disability that left you doubting yourself, abandonment, a detached, emotionally unavailable or anxious parent. Even your parents' own childhood trauma can cause trauma. That's why it's important to heal, so we stop the cycle. My story. I experienced childhood trauma, sexually molested from a neighbour from the ages of 5 to 8 years old. Later in my adult life, I thought the more I would try and forget about it, the more I could move on. But that's not how it works. Just like pushing a ball underwater, you can only do it for a certain amount of time until it pop up again. Same with suppressing trauma. You can try and forget about it, but your body will somehow remember, and it will manifest into other areas, affecting motivation, sleep, relationships, mood, energy levels, and even can cause anxiety, depression, panic attacks, chronic pain, just to name a few. So not all these will manifest, but usually, you know, a couple here and there can manifest later if we don't face it. Many of us don't truly realize how much our childhood trauma is leaking into our adult life and shaping the way we think, feel, and act. Until I started my healing journey 15 years ago, I wasn't fully aware, but self-awareness was the key to many positive shifts in my healing journey. Realizing my core issue that was still affecting me, then working on my mind helped me. But it wasn't until I worked on my body and spirit too that I fully healed from childhood trauma and transformed on a much deeper level, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, bringing me back into alignment for sustainable happiness and inner peace. Today, I help others transform their wounds into wisdom and healings, going through the same path I did, but much quicker, and becoming the best versions of themselves. So here is just a table of what can manifest. So trauma survivors have symptoms instead of memories. So what that means is some of my clients, they basically can have childhood trauma happen to them, but they don't really remember it. And what happens there is it's called dissociation, where if something happens where we're not liking the situation, or it's just an overwhelming emotions, our body and our mind will kind of disconnect and we'll just go somewhere else. So it's called dissociation. And the thing is, over time, we can get used to just doing that or daydreaming. And some clients have actually, taken that into adulthood, where they're just not very grounded in their body, and they're just very like just daydreaming, just always. It becomes a coping mechanism in childhood, but then it sort of, continues on in adulthood when they don't really need to be doing it, but they're just so used to sort of disconnecting from themselves. So then sometimes they don't remember their childhood as much, or some of their trauma, but then later in life it can like manifest as symptoms as like hopelessness, decreased concentration, insomnia, numbing, loss of interest, irritability. That's one thing I definitely had. Didn't know why, but I just felt irritable. It's because like I pushed it down, didn't deal with it, and just felt irritable for no reason. I just didn't know why until I realized it was still my past affecting me. Some people can have nightmares and flashbacks. So I've had people that can't remember being abused when they're younger, and then they end up having like nightmares and flashbacks, and memories come back, flooding back in their 20s, and they're just very confused because they can't connect the dots. They're just like, well, I can't remember it in childhood, but I'm having all these memories from my uncle or whatever. So they're on this path trying to connect the dots and things like that. So shame, self-hatred, panic attacks, emotional overwhelm, chronic pain and headaches. So over time, things can become more physical in the body as well, the longer we leave it. Eating disorders, substance abuse, being self-destructive as well. Sometimes when we've got low self-esteem or self-worth, we don't love ourselves enough, and we treat ourselves, harshly, or, just destruct, not caring. Depression, all these kinds of things. One or another. It doesn't have to be all, but it might be a few. So for me, numbing as well, I felt very numb. I just had my emotions, didn't really know what I was feeling. So that also definitely shifted when I was working on my chakras. I felt like, and moving those energy blocks, I felt like my emotions, and I started feeling what, within what I liked more and what I didn't. And I didn't numb myself, because numbing is actually what happens when you feel such an overload of emotions that then you go numb. So you've actually felt too many and your body sort of shuts down. Okay, so you can change your life on every single level by healing your childhood trauma. So that's the great news. You really can. So these things that can kind of manifest, they can be reversed. These are the other things that can manifest later in life too. So fixing others. So for instance, sometimes when we've got an issue we have to deal with deep within, it's really easy just to look at other people and try and fix their problems and fix ourselves. And we can subconsciously do this without realizing. We're trying to fix, our sister or brother or whatever, they need help or whatever, but we don't want to really look inside us and, sort of, because, at first it can be quite scary, or just feels like, oh my God, I'm going to open up a, can of worms I don't want to. So it's, easier to look at everyone else and see, try and fix them. People pleasing, that's a big one as well. That's like just saying yes all the time to everyone all the time. Sometimes when we've got low self-worth from trauma or low self-esteem, we just want to say yes to everyone because we want everyone to like us. Because we don't really like ourselves because of what happened. We feel a bit shame and things like that. So then we start, I was a queen of people pleasing, but I thought I was doing a good thing. I was like, I'm, love everyone. I try and, keep the peace, people pleasing, but geez, it's draining. So once I started filling up my own cup and loving myself, working on myself, I did not need to people please anymore. Like I say yes to people, but when I want to, and make sure that people are happy, but I don't go over and beyond trying to please people like I did. Yeah, it can be quite draining. And especially when you say yes, when you mean no, that just can really chip away at yourself. Like it just really can be even more draining, because you might have had something on that day or whatever, and you need to do something, but you said yes to someone else. So that's when you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to yourself so many times. So being a people pleaser, you're constantly saying no to yourself. External validation needed, just to feel better, living on high alert, fear of abandonment, especially when, we've had abandonment issues when we're younger. We have that fear when, with other relationships, that people are going to leave us when they're not, but we can initially just think that straight away, because if things happen in childhood, we naturally can think that a lot quicker than usual. Always putting our needs last, need to prove ourselves, that, just to make us feel more whole, because we're not feeling whole enough. Always fearing what might happen next. So this is one thing that I had, worst case scenario in my head. So when your safety or is broken, or you feel, not secure when you're a child, that kind of environment should have been a safe environment. But when that's broken, it's just natural to think worst case scenario, or just looking at what can happen just for, it's actually to protect yourself. But over time, that can be really draining as well, because you're always thinking the worst, what can happen when it doesn't happen, but it's just an extra, negative thoughts in your head, and it can be draining as well. Can more likely tolerate like abusive behavior, difficult setting boundaries. Yeah, so people can sort of walk over you a little bit, or that's when always saying yes to people as well. Gut health issues as well. So if we've experienced trauma for a long period of time, over time it can just interfere with our gut lining and the good and bad bacteria. Okay. Oh, did you let that person in? Yep. There was someone wanting to come in. Trust issues. That was a big one for me as well. When your trust is broken when you're younger, it's really hard to, trust people easily when you get older. But that's shifted for me now, because that also, I feel like working my chakras helped me. Once you start trusting yourself more as well, you start trusting others. But that there's a lot of work that needed to be done for me to flip that. Low self-worth, yep, I had that. And extreme self-doubt. So you can be capable of a lot of things, but you'll just doubt yourself, just because, the low self-esteem can come in as well. Okay, just going to leave that. So majority of my clients will come to me with a certain issue. So they'll come to me with anxiety, especially after COVID, when everyone was in lockdown, and that people thought that they just felt anxious for being at home, or just all these things started coming to the surface because they couldn't be busy with like catching up with people or their usual social things. They actually had to sit at home and start feeling a few things within. So but like once digging deeper, the majority of the time with my clients, the issue will stem to some kind of trauma, pretty much, 80-90% of the time, especially, something like childhood trauma, because, they just think it's anxiety, being anxious at home from, COVID, but it was actually, childhood trauma that's actually just bubbled to the surface after being at home for too long. And, that's how it can kind of come to the surface. We start feeling the emotions, they can't start coming up a bit. which they weren't aware how much it was affecting them presently. Once working on the root cause and looking at the mind-body-spirit connection, great results are achieved. I have many clients come to me after being to a psychologist and say they got better results with me. It's because I look at the client as a whole, mind, body, and most importantly, the spirit, which creates long-lasting results. Okay, so healing myself on a spiritual level and knowing how to balance my chakras was an important part in healing my trauma. Chakras can seem airy-fairy and all new age, yet when you truly begin to learn about them, you can see how much they can tell us about ourselves. Awareness is key. What I'm going to show you is how trauma can create blockages in the chakra system and how it can show up as imbalances in our mind, thoughts, beliefs, pain, tension, and emotions, and the steps to balancing your chakras for improved overall well-being. Okay, so these are the chakras in our body. We've got many chakras, but these are the main energy centers. Okay, so there are actually these colors. So violet for the crown, indigo for the third eye, blue for the throat, green for the heart. You can also use pink, yellow for the solar plexus, orange for the sacral, and red for the root chakra. And so when I give my clients energy healings, some people that are quite visual, so they'll close their eyes, and when I'm working on a chakra, I actually empty the energy and then I pour universal life energy back in. And when I'm pouring the energy back in and the chakra is starting to open up and balance, some clients can actually see the color in their third eye when they've got their eyes closed. So they say, oh, I saw so much purple or red or orange. So that's with the chakra that's starting to open up when I'm working on them. So chakra system, what are chakras? Chakras are energy centers of the body. Each chakra moves with a spin motion, forming a vortex. Although the energy moving through the chakras is always moving, the vitality of the energy can lessen if an area of our life is out of balance, too many negative emotions, or if we experience trauma. Clearing trauma from your chakra system is very important to your physical and emotional well-being. Keeping your chakra system clear, clean, and energized is also crucial to keeping you on the path with your soul's life purpose. So if you want to feel happy, healthy, and clear about the meaning and purpose of your life, do consider chakra energy healing as a worthwhile practice. By becoming aware of your chakras, you will learn to fully relax, heighten your consciousness, and improve your health and well-being. Working on your chakras can start improving the symptoms I was talking about earlier that are caused by trauma. There are many exercises, meditations, and healing techniques that focus on balancing the chakras and aim to help us remove any blocks or imbalances to the natural movement of energy. When the energy of your chakras is flowing freely and operating at an integrated whole, you'll operate at an optimal level of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being and a deeper connection to self. Everyone benefits from chakra balancing, but especially if you experience the following: emotional symptoms such as depression, anxiety, or stress. If you feel trapped in habits, emotions, and patterns of the past, struggling with low self-esteem and unworthiness, feeling lost and no direction, if you struggle to achieve your goals and your purpose, If you have blocks and resistance that paralyze you from doing what you want in life, if you want to heal from trauma to improve your life, have irrational fears, resistance, and procrastination, if your unresolved trauma is affecting your moods, energy, sleep, relationships, or motivation. So how to read the chakras. Okay, so do you guys know about a pendulum? Yep. Okay, so one way you can actually just read chakras at home is like, so having these pendulum, which is amazing. So this is what I use with clients. So I can basically read a chakra. I can read it by my hands, by feeling the coolness or the heat or the, different energy. But like, I love the actual pendulum. So basically, you can do it yourself. So, but a balanced chakra is always in my palm chakra. It's a small chakra. It's not one of the main ones, but I'm always using my palms for healing. So it's like a clockwise direction, and it's about, I'm not sure how big your 50-cent piece, but in Australia, 50-cent piece is about that big. So clockwise, that's a healthy chakra. But you can also use one of these to use on yourself, so you can actually see what is active, overactive, underactive, imbalance or blocked. So the best way is to lay down back and hold the pendulum and just a few inches above. So not right above it, but just a few inches, because your actual chakra radiates upwards. And then basically you can write down what direction each pendulum is and what swing it is. Sometimes it might be easier to, get someone to help you, because sometimes it's a bit tricky for the, top chakras to look at. But then you can just see which ones, of your own chakras are imbalanced or blocked. So this graph here, this actually shows what chakra it is. So the clockwise is open, like I said. Energy is in balance and flowing freely from the body. So counterclockwise, so going the opposite direction, that just shows as an imbalance in your chakra. Energy is restricted, so it's out of balance. If it's going in a straight line, it just means that it's partially opened. So the energy imbalance or partially blocked. So a lot of the times I will get one that was on a client that's spinning really wide open. So that's overactive, especially around the head or the crown chakra or the third eye. And that's usually when someone's, just got so many thoughts going on and just there's too much traffic going in. So when our chakras are wide open, it's just too much information. And so that, causes too much, just overthinking. And that person usually has trouble with sleep as well. So then after working, with energy healing on that chakra, they notice their sleep's a lot better because they're not overthinking. No energy. So then, and then if there's no movement, you'll just notice when you're above a chakra, it just won't move at all. And that just shows the chakra is blocked. So that's when I know that chakra needs to be emptied. And so I spend more time emptying that chakra, and then I fill it up.
Can we take a question right now?
Sure.
Didar has a question.
Leticia, I'm just wondering, you just said the directions of the pendulum, right? So let's say even if somebody is helping me to identify the energy of a particular chakra, so like the clockwise or anti-clockwise movement or a wide circle for that matter of fact, would it start moving on its own, or do we have to give some energy by the hand?
No, it starts moving on its own. Yeah. So those chakras like radiate energy. So you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just hold it, and it will actually move. So
My goodness.
yes, it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So your energy, so each chakra like is radiating like a few inches in front. And so if you do put it above a chakra, it's not moving, it means it's blocked. But all your chakras won't be blocked. There'll be others that will have an imbalance, so you'll be able to test it. So if one's blocked, just move to the next one and just write down what you think, what you record it down, and then so it's pretty amazing. Like I love my pendulum. I actually have got 10 of them. Like it's just an amazing tool to have.
My goodness, like, trust me, this is something, I mean, I was just kept on thinking like how it would happen. I'm definitely going to try it now.
Yes, definitely. And just make sure the pendulum is a crystal at the end.
Yes.
I think you can get metal ones and things like that, but I think the crystal ones are better. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
No worries.
Can we take one more question, or shall we take?
No, I'm happy like to have questions during while people remember the question.
Astha, you can ask your question.
Hi, Leticia. So how do you do this online? Because right now in the virtual world, right? So do your clients do this exercise on themselves and then tell you, or do you do this like online in certain ways?
So this is pretty amazing. So I actually tune in to that person. So I bring in the universal life energy and I say that person's name 3 times, and then I have to do a Reiki symbol, which is a distant symbol. So it connects me with that person. And then you can have a photo or just visualize them. But our thoughts are so powerful that you can actually think about someone all day long, just really powerfully, and they will be thinking about you too without realizing. Like it's the energetic, telepathic, like it's just pretty strong. But especially when using the Reiki symbol, it connects to the person. But I read the chakras myself. So we actually use, it's called, you can actually get Reiki dolls and you actually tune in and say that's the person. And I actually say, okay, I want to tune in and read, such and such's chakra, and it would show me. I've also got another thing called a Healy, which is like frequency therapy. So it's basically I take a photo of the person and it will give me a graph of their actual chakras as well. So I can do both ways, but I know some people who aren't very spiritual, they're more logical minded. They like the graph, if that makes sense, to see the graph of like, how many percentage each chakra is. But people that are spiritual or, believe in, have had, understand energy healing and that they don't really need that. They, believe that what I'm tuning into, they understand. And especially when I tune into their chakras, sometimes I get downloads about, what's happening, and then they're like, oh, okay, yep, you're right, that's something, I feel stuck in that area or whatever. So they definitely, but that's it. That's the most amazing thing about distant healings, because when I was building my 3-month trauma program, I was doing market research, and I just asked if people could fill in like a sort of a survey for me to see that, like, because what I've worked with my clients and myself, I just wanted to know if I was on the right track with my program, see if there's anything else I can add in there, what are other people's challenges and goals. And then I just offered them, usually I do an hour healing, but I just said half an hour healing if you just fill out this quick form. And so I did the exchange, and I was doing a lot of healings with people in America as well. And one lady said that from her childhood trauma, she's had a lot of anger, and just from my 30-minute healing, that all of a sudden the anger had melted away. That anger that she had deep inside. And I was even surprised, like only because it was a half an hour healing, not an hour healing. Like I was like, yeah, so it can be really surprising, like distant healings, because yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like I've done them a lot with my family and everything, but because of COVID, I was forced to do it more so. And when I was getting all these really great, because I love in-person healings the best, but when I started realizing how effective distant healings are, and everyone always says they're just the same as in-person healings, but I just didn't do them because I just prefer in-person ones. But then when I was getting all these results, I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. So then it made me more excited, because then in my trauma programs that I do, I implement healings once a fortnight, as well as, you know, so that's why it's the mind, body, spirit, you know, working on their mind, body and spirit. So I was happy that, you know, I could implement yeah, energy healings as well in my programs around the world as well. So
Wow,
yeah,
that sounds great. Thank you.
yes,
Leticia.
no worries. So yeah, one of the most effective ways to relieve the symptoms of blocked chakras is through the powerful practice of Reiki, a holistic modality that addresses energetic imbalances in the body by channeling universal life energy. I became a Reiki master because of the positive shifts I noticed on my healing journey with Reiki. Energy healing is my favorite way to work on the chakras. I'm able to do Reiki with clients in person or distant healings around the world. So yeah, so out of all the ways you can balance chakras, like energy healing is definitely my favorite. I feel like it really gets to a deep level. But another of my favorite was yoga. So with yoga, I did I didn't really like yoga at first when I first did it, just some of the poses and that. But basically, my friend convinced me to do a 40-day yoga challenge, and I just said yes. And within 2 days, she got a sore back and couldn't do it. And then I did the 40-day challenge, and I absolutely ended up loving it, because the shifts I got were absolutely amazing. So it was actually balancing my chakras. It really grounded me into my body. I just felt connected with myself again. So like yoga and Reiki were my two favorite things to balance my chakras. It was quite potent how it happened. But yeah, there's many ways you can actually work on your chakras, or just do slight things during your day just to give them a nice boost if you are low or underactive. Did someone want to have a question?
Ruchi?
Yes. Hi, Leticia. It's so wonderful to hear your stories and how over a period of years you have not only tackled the challenge of trauma, but also have been able to guide other people in the process in their healing journey. Especially, I am also drawn to healing, and Shalu knows me quite well. I have attended Living Consciously boot camp, and that is so my journey into healing started with attending Vipassana. If you know about Vipassana, it's a
Yes.
2 week. Yes, so it's a 2 weeks meditation program, and also I learned through books also. So I'm reading a book called "Healing Is the New High" by Vex King.
Oh, I've got that. That's great.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
And I want to learn from you how do you suggest that one begin this process into the healing journey and become a Reiki master? Because if you Google, and there are so many people teaching the same stuff, and so how do you make sure that you align yourself with the right masters who have been there, practiced it enough, and from whom you are ready to receive that wisdom and grace, and begin your journey? Especially I'm drawn towards Reiki healing and energy medicine.
Great question. Yeah, so I had it many years ago in Bali, and I had no idea what it was, because he didn't speak English, but he just gave me one, and I just did not know the benefits or anything. I just felt good afterwards. But then later on, a friend just got me a Reiki healing basically for my birthday, and it's sort of it was like the universe wanted me to go down that path. But also when I was 5 years old, I used to have dreams that I was doing energy healing with my hands as well. So if you're drawn to it for a reason, it could be also you've had a past life as a healer in some way. So basically, like this lady, I was so drawn to her as well, and she basically was having a course that weekend and I was actually working. So but yeah, someone swapped a shift with me, and then just, yeah, it was life-changing, that first step. Because with energy healing as well, I just wanted to explain, when you get attuned to Reiki, it's actually like getting 10 Reikis at once. So to be able to channel Reiki energy, you have to be a clear channel. So it actually, like, I remember feeling like I was a bit premenstrual I never get premenstrual, but I was getting moody for about a month or two later after the healing, because it was unpacking some stuff that I pushed down. So yeah, but everyone's so different. Other people may not even notice any shifts, but yeah, there's definitely, I could feel there was a clear channel. And after being attuned to that energy, like my aura, I could feel my aura for a week. And basically, like, the dreams I was having that night were just so intense. So it actually enhances your intuition and things like that as well, or if you got certain gifts. So I definitely 100% say go for it, but choosing who you want, because I've done other energy healings as well, techniques, and been attuned to them. And yeah, some people are very lost on which direction, but all I can say is, you know, you've told the universe you're ready. And so what happens is, you know, if it doesn't come into your path, you go sort of searching, and go with the person that looks familiar or talks to your soul. Does that make sense? Like someone that really aligns, like your intuition, because you'll learn more of them.
Right.
Does that make sense? Does
Yes,
that make sense?
yes,
Like
yes. Makes a lot
when
of sense. Yes. And when you are ready, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So,
yes,
so thank you so much for sharing your insights. And yes, I think the journey has started, and I'll keep on meeting people who are practicing and taken this path. It's certainly something which I'm very, very drawn to, and Shalu knows about it because I've spoken with her during the boot camp in terms of what is there on my mind and how I want to initiate that process. So I think I'm not rushing into it. I'm not in a hurry. I will let the journey unfold in its own organic manner. So thank you for sharing your stories and experiences.
So did you say you know people that have done Reiki? So would they recommend? So even if someone said, I recommend this person, and then if you look at that person or a video of them and you're drawn to them, it means like that's probably the right person to go with. But even if someone recommends someone to you and then you look at them and they're not, and you know, you're not really drawn to them, don't go. But if you get some recommendations, maybe, you know, go on that direction if it feels right. But if you can get a good recommendation, that really helps too, because there are some really crappy you know, Reiki masters out there too. So if you know someone that's already been, you know, done their course and it was good too, definitely suss that out too.
Sure. Thank you so much, Leticia.
No worries. And all I can say is, like, you just know, like, people that get into energy healing, they do it, you can just sense they're doing it because they want to help people. And then there's that 20% of people doing energy healing and they only want to do it for the money, but they don't last for long, but they want people to do Reiki 1, 2, 3 really quickly and trying to, like, you know, it's not right. So yeah, they just try and rush things and you can sense it in your intuition that they're not there for the right reasons. So just giving you that tip as well.
Yeah, and also I just want to make an announcement here, if Leticia will allow me. Even living consciously, we are coming up with, we connected with an energy healer. If you have heard of Reef Healing Method, so we are coming up with this energy healing practitioner level course with this lady, And I had a one-to-one session with her, and it was very powerful. Then I asked her if she can, take a course, and where she can really help. She can really teach people.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. That's so good. Awesome. All right, well, I'll keep going. All right, so I'm just going to move this. All right, so we're just going to start with the base chakra. So the base chakra is linked to survival. So that's the one, that's the first one down near the pelvic floor. So it's linked to survival, stability, feeling safe, grounded, and connected. This is one of the major chakras located at the bottom of the spine that is affected during childhood trauma, where you can feel disconnected to your body from feeling unsafe. So that's what I was talking about earlier, when you can feel a bit of dissociation as well, because it just disconnects yourself from your body and your mind. Especially when someone is abused, the base chakra energy stops flowing correctly, and then it can cause chronic fear and then excessive daydreaming. Balancing the base chakra will establish a sense of safety, to feel motivated, and it will allow you to attract better relationships and jobs, improve focus and concentration, and a sense of belonging. You feel calm and centered and ready for what life brings. So yeah, I definitely used to feel that I could not concentrate that well. So yeah, once I started working on my base chakra, I started feeling so much grounded in my body, and I was just more present in my day. I could live in the present moment more so. Okay, so here are some ways to actually balance or boost your base chakra. So it's the color red. So you can either like wear red, if your base chakra is like lacking, wearing a lot of red even can help boost it. Also nourishment, like eating more proteins or red fruit and vegetables. The musical note C. Also the mantra Lam. So if you keep chanting that can help. Yoga postures, the balancing and standing poses. Leg stretches will help the root or the base chakra. Also crystals, like the red, black, and brown crystals, like red jasper, ruby, garnet, bloodstone. So with crystals, if you want to carry them in your handbag or in your bra or anything, or you can actually channel the crystal energy into the chakra as well. So that's really powerful. But it's best to cleanse them, like in the sun or the moon or with incense before doing something like that. And then you can program your actual crystals. So the way you program it is you hold them in your hand and your intention behind it. Like, I want to, draw out, maybe any anxiety or, and replace it, and please project, beautiful loving energy or whatever. But you can just program your crystals to whatever you need. Also meditation, you can focus on the root chakra with the color red, or like grounding meditations. Also just walking like barefoot on the grass is really grounding for your root chakra. So it's a root or base chakra. And then affirmations, like there's many different affirmations, but something like I seek balance and harmony in my life. So that can help as well. Okay, so just right now, I'm just going to do a 1-minute meditation. So this meditation will help you feel grounded in your body. So this benefits the root chakra. Many of us are very ungrounded, which affects our root chakra. Our root chakra is one of the first chakras to become blocked with trauma. The root chakra is about safety and feeling secure. So when we don't feel this, the root chakra will be affected. It can make us feel very ungrounded in our body, which causes us to live too much in our head, which creates too much overthinking. So this meditation helps pull our energy downwards to help you feel more grounded in your body and centered within, improving focus and concentration. So I'm just going to use a crystal seeing bowl as well while we do this, which also helps balance chakras. So it's a very short meditation, only for a minute or two. And just close your eyes when we do this. And just take note if you feel any sensations within the body when you're visualizing this. Okay, so just close your eyes. Now visualize a thick stream of golden light coming down from the galaxy, through the stars, past the cosmos with all the planets, down through the sky, and into your head, your neck, your chest, your stomach, your thighs, your calves. The golden light shoots out from the bottom of your feet and into the ground, deep, deep within the ground. Past all the dirt and crystals until it hits the core of the earth. Now I want you to visualize a red stream of light coming up from the core of the earth, past all the dirt and crystals, the red light streaming up into your feet, your calves, your thighs, your stomach, your chest, your neck. The red light shoots out from the top of your head and into the sky. Past all the planets. Through the stars. Deep, deep within the galaxy. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. Did anyone feel any energy at all?
Yes.
you feel a heaviness, or did you feel just certain energy in different parts?
Heaviness. I felt some heaviness.
I had a difficult time visualizing it, and then the image was distracted at times. So, does this say something?
That just means like your third eye may be, or your crown might be overactive. So sometimes, you know, find it hard to concentrate, or you might need more grounding in your body as well. So that's all. It just might be just a slight imbalance in one of the chakras. It depends, because sometimes when do you find it hard to visualize any time or just that time?
Anytime, the other times as well.
Anytime. Yeah, so that probably shows that it would be just your third eye. There might be a blockage there. So when there's a block there, we find it hard to see the bigger picture. We find it hard to imagine things or visualize. So that's what can happen sometimes when our third eye is blocked. But that's okay. There's certain exercises you can do for that. But yeah, that's not uncommon. Some people find it hard to visualize or just, you know, really sit still and think. So that's okay. Definitely, there's things you can do to help that. No worries.
So for me, I sort of felt the flow of energy from the thighs to calves. When I was, you know, just visualizing that golden stream of light, so there was this sensation in thighs and calves, and even the red light when it was coming up, it was a bit of flow which I felt, but I mean, not very strong.
Yes. No, that's good. That's good that you just even noticed that. So yeah, even golden light, that's a high vibrational light as well. And I just wanted to do that for anyone that like visualizing is very, very powerful. So I wanted to do that meditation to show how powerful just our visualizing, like we can be our own healer by just visualizing like high vibrational energy and things like that. So we can heal ourselves. So the fact that, you know, just feeling that energy and visualizing gold and white light or through your body. So the more times you actually do that and visualize gold and white light coming through your body, golden or white, or I do gold and white light, it basically can clear those blockages over time, and you'll start feeling your energetic body being lighter. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's just clearing the blockages. So it's a really good technique to do, you know, daily if you ever want to put it, you know, in practice, but you'll actually start noticing a positive shift. Sure.
And Leticia, here, one of my friends, he was also doing the meditation along with us. So he has something to share.
Yeah, hi Leticia. So I was doing the same practice. I found like my foot was cold feeted at that moment. So I felt like some kind of cold energy kept me grounding, and I was feeling some kind of cold sensation on my foot.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. When it's cold there, yeah, you're not very grounded. So the cold energy, so it probably just needs more energy through your feet. So do you walk much on the grass?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's good. So if you want to do that same technique, but just visualize the energy on grass as well, that will really help. But yeah, there's some kind of imbalance there around your feet, but it just needs more energy moving through your feet. That's all it is. So there's just a little bit of blockage, and that's why you're probably feeling coolness. But also it's pushing through energy as well. So it can mean many different things, but since I can't like sense it because you're not here, but yeah, it just means like it's working. So that energy, yeah, it's a good thing. Any sensation you feel with things like that is healing. Does that make sense? So it's healing your body. So yeah, coolness, whatever, like, yeah, or hot or tingly, it's all like moving the energy blockages. So it's a good thing. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, I have a question.
Yep.
Like for these, when we're concentrating on different parts or different chakras in our body, so is there a specific time that we should set aside, like for root chakra, this time would be ideal if we, want to activate it, or for other chakras, there are those time during the day which it is best to active or best to work on them, to activate them? Is it something like that?
No, you can do it anytime. The best thing overall is just consistency. Like if you're working on them, well, especially when you first start out, just the more you do it, the more you'll notice you'll start feeling good about yourself and more aligned. But I'll show you something a bit later where you can do it with your own hands. You can actually start visualizing it with working on the chakra with your own hands as well. So, but the thing is, like, are you meaning like those other things I was saying about boosting the chakras, like wearing red with the crystals and that? Or were you thinking about the meditation?
Either ways, if like we're talking about chanting of, say, the lamp. So
okay,
that, So
yeah.
that needs to be done in a specific time during the day, or if you are planning to meditate, should we wear red and meditate? Is it like that, or it can be?
No, you can definitely do whenever you like. Definitely. So it's more about just doing your own practice whenever you feel it's right. Like some people like to do it in the morning, or some people like to do it in the evening, or just when they're cleaning the house with the mantras. Like, so there's no right or wrong. It's just when people do it, like, if you're doing it, that's a great job. So any time of the day, because the thing is, it doesn't make you, overactive or wake you up or you can't sleep after. It's actually all healing. So any time of the day is fine.
Thank you.
But it's always good to do it in the morning. I always like in the morning, because when you do a little morning routine for yourself in the morning, it's like you're filling your own cup up, and you feel more grounded in your body and everything. It just, you start the day off on a good foot, and you just, the whole day just rolls really well. Like when you do just little things for yourself first thing in the morning. But of course you can, if you don't have time in the morning, later at night it's really good too. It can help you, sleep and things like that too. So it just depends. It depends what suits you best, and just wherever it suits you best is better doing it than not doing it. So whatever works best for you.
Thank you.
So we have many, okay, Asta, go ahead.
Sorry. So Leticia, when I was doing the meditation, I felt a lot of heaviness in my heart chakra in middle of my chest. And when that happened, like there was an overwhelming feeling of sadness, and I sort of wasn't able to follow through the meditation because I was getting this visuals of me curling up on the floor in a fetal position and crying.
Is that something that happened in the past?
No.
That you can remember?
No.
It
just felt like a lot of sadness, and when the red light was also coming up, I just felt like an overwhelming urge of just to cry.
So there's your heart chakra is blocked, and there's some deep emotion stuck in there, so it needs to be released. And the fact that you wanted to cry is a good thing, because it's like I was saying earlier with energy blocks. So there's been a time in your life where there was something emotional and you pushed it down instead of feeling it and dealing with it and letting the energy keep flowing. So there's a blockage in your heart, and so with that golden energy coming down, it stopped at your heart because that's where the blockage was, and it couldn't keep going down, and that's why you nearly cried, because it was coming to the surface. So it's a good thing. But if you want to try that and just keep doing that kind of visualization at home, just to it would be very beneficial, because once you release that, or you might have slightly released it, then you will start feeling lighter in your body, because that kind of emotional block can really hold us back and make us feel stuck in certain areas. So even in relationships, so if you've got a blocked heart chakra, even giving yourself love or sending love to others, there might be a blockage that the free-flowing energy won't be there when it's blocked. So there's something emotional that's hurt you in the past, and you crying is a good thing. If we cry, it's very healing. So that's the thing of healing and energy healing. Sometimes we have to feel worse before we feel better, because all these shifts that are coming to the surface.
but what also happened is that more than the sadness, I felt fear. So
Fear?
like fear, I just felt a lot of fear that I don't want it to come to the surface, and this has been happening again and again, that I'm feeling sad and it's trying to come to the surface, but there's so much fear that I'm unconsciously like suppressing it,
Suppressing, yeah.
I'm resisting it, I'm not letting it happen. So even this meditation, like I don't think I'll do it again on my own, because there is so much fear when it comes up that I can't deal with it alone.
No, that's totally fair enough. So yeah, maybe you'd want to do like you know, a certain healing, or there's meditations you can do, but maybe you can have someone close, or you know, that you're close to do it with you as well. Like there's certain heart chakra meditations you can do to release emotions on YouTube, or you know, doing an energy healing can help as well come to the surface. But yeah, so just know, you know, it'll take time. There might be, you know, a few little goes you might need to do to get it there, but you know, because that's the thing with healing, a lot of people don't want to open that door because it feels too much, but when we hold it in for too long, it actually starts affecting us in more areas than we want, if that makes sense. So sometimes it's like ripping off the Band-Aid and just getting it over and done with. But you know, if you do it in a safe place with someone close to you and sort of just feel it, and then they can give you a hug afterwards, you know, you will feel a lot lighter once it happens, trust me.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.
So can we take one more question? Okay.
Yep.
Today I walk in a garden and do a 10,000 step and some little yoga. You said in the base chakra that to balance you have to walk and that thing. I also, due to this, I experience it's very energetic after the meditation. Thank you. It's really work for me.
Oh, that's good. Good to hear. All right. So should I keep going?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, that was the yeah. So that really helped our root chakra doing a meditation like that. And there's many types of grounding meditations. But yeah, as you can see, just doing a quick one like that can be highly effective. Okay, so there's also yeah, the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra is located just below the navel. It is the energy center of sexuality and emotions. This chakra is often heavily affected by rape or sexual abuse, causing energy blocks. Sexual abuse interferes with the vitality and creativity that makes life joyful. When blocked, you can feel numb or emotionally cold, can also cause addictions or feel repressed or disconnected from your true desires and feelings. When your sacral chakra is balanced, it brings immense amount of pleasure in life. It allows you to see the beauty in the people and things around you, feel more joyful and energetic, plus feel more creative and compassionate, and most of all, empowered. So how to balance the sacral chakra? So the color orange, so yeah, visualizing orange in the sacral, or wearing the color orange, nourishment like liquids of orange, fruits and vegetables, playing music with the music note D, the mantra VAM, yoga poses, cobra, downward dog, warrior, lotus and lunges will all help this chakra. Crystals will help boost this chakra, coral, amber and citrine. So yeah, the meditation, so focus on the sacral chakra with orange, the color orange. So yeah, just doing that meditation before, now you know how powerful visualization can be. So when we work on our chakra, visualizing color, it can really help boost that chakra as well. So affirmations, I am living a pleasurable life. That will help boost. So the solar plexus. The solar plexus chakra is located in the upper belly. This chakra relates to personal power, boundaries, and identity. Trauma can affect this chakra in many ways. Increased anxiety, self-esteem issues, feeling paralyzed by fear, or asserting themselves into the world. So this chakra, yeah, it's all about personal power. So when there's a blockage, we just don't feel assertive at all. Shame can really affect this chakra. The greater the shame, the less we feel powerful. When your solar plexus is balanced, can have a healthy relationship with power and use it to assist others. Healing this area can lead to a radical self-acceptance, something trauma survivors can struggle with. It can also help you with feeling more capable and improve your confidence. Okay, so how to balance the solar plexus. So using the color yellow. So yellow, wearing the color yellow, visualizing. Nourishment, you can also have carbohydrates, yellow fruits and veggies. The musical note E. So yeah, my singing bowl I had before, but that was for the root chakra, but my different singing bowls actually for each chakra as well, which is awesome. The mantra is Ram. Yoga poses, a boat, child's pose. I think it's supposed to be lotus and standing squat. The crystals, you can use amber, tiger eye, and gold topaz. So yeah, the meditation, just focus on the solar plexus and then just visualize the color yellow. I like to visualize like a lotus yellow, thriving lotus, or anything that's just, thriving and bright and yellow works really well. Affirmation, I can do everything that I desire. So the heart chakra is affected by trauma because of the feelings of unworthiness, distrust, and a lack of self-love that often arise in trauma survivors. Overwhelming rejection and betrayal from neglect and abandonment can take a toll on the human heart and intimate relationships. There can be a tendency towards isolation, emotional coldness, emotional reactivity, difficulty with forgiveness, fear of abandonment or being loved. When your heart chakra is open, you feel compassionate, give love freely, and are comfortable in your relationships. Find it easier to forgive and release any emotional pain instead of holding on. Are more capable, more accepting, and feel more connected to everyone. So how to balance the heart chakra? So it's green is the actual color, but we can also use pink as well. So pink's another color that you can use. Nourishment is green and pink fruit and veggies and juices to boost this chakra. The musical note F, the mantra Yum, and also yoga poses back bends, bridge, camel, cobra, fish, and pigeon. You can use the crystals emerald, green jade, and rose quartz, one of my favorite crystals. Meditation, focus on the heart chakra with the color green or pink. The affirmation, I am worthy of love. So the throat chakra. The throat chakra can manifest blockages after trauma due to the survivor's inability to either express themselves or be heard. A traumatic experience when consent is ignored can cause the survivor to have multiple experiences in which their voice is not heard. Constantly being yelled at, lied to, or overly criticized disrupts the capacity to recognize truth and to speak forthrightly. There are tendencies to be shy or fear speaking up. Other symptoms of blocks in the throat chakra are dishonesty, speaking words of anger, and negative self-talk. So this was a major one for me. My throat chakra was blocked, and that's where I noticed massive shifts when I started energy healing, because I started becoming more authentic, speaking up, saying my truth. But when I was younger, the abuser, he used to always tell me, never tell anyone. When people tell you not to tell anyone, that blocks your throat chakra. But yeah, just when I started working my throat chakra, a lot of things started changing. So yeah, I was scared to speak up sometimes, but it wasn't the fact that I was scared. It was the fact that my throat, when your throat chakra is blocked, what you want to say in your head, and when it comes out, just doesn't come out exactly how you want it. And that's when you know your throat chakra is blocked, because it's not flowing exactly how you want it. Okay, so when your throat chakra is balanced, you express yourself freely, honestly, and communicate well with others. You will be more authentic and express with more clarity and confidence, and also become a better listener. Sometimes when our throat chakra is blocked, we find it hard to listen sometimes, so it actually can help that, improve that as well. Okay, so how to balance the throat chakra using the color blue, nourishment, blue, fruit, veggies and juices, musical note G, the mantra hum, yoga poses, bridge, fish, neck stretches, the crystals, blue crystals, turquoise, blue topaz, aquamarine. And the meditation is focused on the throat chakra with the color blue. And affirmation, I can express myself with ease. Okay, the next one is the third eye chakra. So the third eye chakra, located in between your eyebrows, is associated with intuition. Many survivors either failed to trust their intuition or had not yet developed it at the time of childhood trauma, causing blockages in this area. Other symptoms of a blocked third eye chakra is the inability to visualize, distrust, being indecisive, remembering like your past, like living in your past too much, suffering from nightmares, a lack of trust in one's self, and difficulty meditating as well. When your third eye chakra is open, you trust your intuition and act with confidence when using it. Open-minded and mentally strong, you will have more self-awareness and will see the bigger picture, helping you to better problem solve in your life. So that's a good thing to have. How to balance third eye chakra. So the color indigo, nourishment is dark blue, purple foods and juices, musical note B, the mantra Om, yoga poses, just palms over the eyes, and the meditation will help too. So crystals with sapphire and sodalite, and also the meditation, just focus on the third eye chakra with the color indigo. And the affirmation, I trust my intuition always. Okay, so the last one, this is the crown chakra. The crown chakra is located above and around the top part of the head. The biggest challenge of the crown chakra is on the mental level. When someone is too withdrawn, as well as stuck in their own way of thinking, as well as stuck in signs of a blocked crown chakra include feeling restless or bored, lack of direction, loneliness, feelings of no connection with a higher power, or lack of empathy. Actually, I think I skipped past that, but I actually can't. I don't know how to go backwards because I'll end up skipping it again. Sorry about that. But with the crown chakra also, when that's actually disconnected as well, when it's blocked, it actually can cause depression. So that's something that sometimes trauma survivors can later on, experience if we don't actually heal our past. But once it is, once we are actually flowing our crown chakra, we feel connected with the divine, and we feel much connected with ourselves, and the energy is flowing freely through us. And yeah, it's just so much better, because when we have a wide open crown chakra, that's when too much energy, but we want a nice stream of energy to feel connected. So how to balance the crown chakra? So you can actually use 3 different colors, so violet, white, or gold. Nourishment associated with fasting as well. We can also use purple fruits and veggies. There's also the musical note B, mantra yoga poses, handstand, headstand, and lotus, crystals, howlet, amethyst, and the satin spar. I love the satin spar. That's amazing for cleansing your aura as well. The meditation, focus on the crown chakra with the colors violet, white, or gold. And yeah, so then the last, an affirmation, I'm open to new ideas. Okay, so this is just another one that just shows the physical signs of imbalances. So usually if we've got something going on with physically in a certain area, it will be connected to that chakra as well. But so for instance, the root chakra, if you're feeling clumsy, have sleep issues, poor circulation in your feet, so reproductive problems or issues with metabolism, it can be also because of an issue with your root chakra. The sacral, so basically the lower back, if you have lower back pain, PMS, infertility, digestive problems, lack of energy, issues with the kidneys, the solar plexus, usually when that's blocked, I have a lot of clients that will have like slow digestion, but also over time, that's where anxiety is, right, living in there, so it can cause like panic attacks, liver problems, but yeah, the heart chakra, the chronic fatigue as well. So that when we've got chronic fatigue, it can be like the deep emotions we're holding on in our chest. So that can be very tiring. So also if we've got upper back pain, it can be because of an imbalance in our heart chakra. Also anxiety can be around the chest area as well. And heart-related issues, of course, throat chakra, throat problems. So when I had a blocked throat chakra, I always felt like I was clearing my throat, or it felt tightness around there as well. So there's neck stiffness, cold symptoms, also, yeah, thyroid imbalances, issues with breathing. So that's why, sometimes it feels tight around the neck, so it can actually feel restricted. So yeah, the third eye, ear and eye issues, balance issues, sleep paralysis is another one, learning disability, and also hormone dysfunction. So yeah, there's a lot of things also in the crown. Also we can have like dizziness, vision issues. So that can also affect as well. So there's so many other things on a physical level as well that can start affecting. But usually what happens is, it happens out here, like our thoughts, and it creeps in, sort of thing, over time. So if it starts happening on a real physical level, it means it's taken a while to get there. Does that make sense? Like we're moving in. So it's usually a thought that happens when we're thinking about it a lot, then it can be in our energy and our aura, but then it gradually, like over the years, when something becomes physical in our body, it doesn't happen within a year. It's been happening for years. Does that make sense? Yeah. So something that manifests on a physical level doesn't just happen overnight. It's taken a while to get there. Okay, so this is just a little technique that you can do as well with the visualization and balancing like chakras with your own hands. So for instance, so if you just like take a few relaxing breaths just to center yourself. Just sit with a straight spine. And what I want you to do is just hold your hands out in front of you like this. I just want you to shake them. And then put your palms together and just rub them. So we're just like activating them, if that makes sense. All right. So what I want you to do is like just like a ball, go in and out. I want you gently to separate your hands, just an inch or two. Because I can feel my energy from out here, but it's only because I work with energy a lot. So it's probably best for you to like start close and then work your way out. The more times you do it, the more you can feel it. But we always have energy coming from our hands. If you can feel it, and the more you bring it forward and back, it's like an energy ball. You can start stretching it a little bit more to feel it. And the more you bring it back and bring it forward, you can sort of feel that energy being squeezed. It's like something sticky or elastic between your hands. If you can't really feel it, just close your eyes, because the thing is, when our eyes are open, we sort of lose sense of our other senses. Does that make sense? So we don't feel as much when we have our eyes open, but when we have our eyes closed, that's when we can feel the energy more so, because we're using more we're feeling it. And when we've got our eyes open, we can be distracted by other things. So it's just, yeah, and the more you do it, the more you'll strengthen your awareness with the feeling. So what you do is, when you can feel that energy, sometimes you can feel like the warmth and tingles and that, you know, whatever chakra, if you ever get a pendulum, you know which chakra, or you can just, even if you don't have a chakra, you can just go through do your own meditation and go through each of your chakra, and you can just boost them all up. Because the thing is, if you did this in your daily morning practice, and you don't have to do it, you can just do it for 1 minute each one. It'd be best to do 5 minutes if you can, but if not, some people can't. 1 minute each chakra is better than not. So you just like with your own energy, and then you just visualize. And what I do is like, so for instance, the throat chakra is blue. So I just visualize that energy from my hands coming in. And when I breathe in, the blue energy is coming in. And then when I breathe out, I visualize dark energy being released. So what the blockages, and then you just breathe it in and then breathe it out. And the more times you end up doing this, the more you'll just start noticing, you'll feel just better and better each time, you do a routine like this on your chakras. And then what can be even more powerful is that golden light from the source coming down through your head, through your arms, and into the chakra as well. And that can be another boost, because you don't have to always use the color of the chakra. You can also use golden or white as well. And then, you can just ask source energy to come through your arms, and then visualize it. And, like we did that meditation earlier, visualization is very, very powerful. So that's the way you can be your own self-healer. But then some people can't really be bothered doing it, thinking it with their own visualization. So you can find ones on the internet that do similar ones and can boost your chakras as well. So they're just as good. So the effects of trauma don't have to last a lifetime. There are many things you can do to start healing yourself. It's just knowing the tools to basically get started. Sometimes people feel a bit lost and don't know where to start, but there's many things. But if you want to start on the spiritual level first and working on your chakras, it's definitely a great place to, work on first. Okay, so yeah, this is just me. If you are interested in joining my Facebook group, it's called Spirituality and Trauma Healing. Yeah, so I've only just started up, what was it, just 3 months ago or something, and I'm going to be putting more effort into it as well. I've been posting a lot, but I want to start doing maybe some meditations and energy healing and things like that as well in there. But like, it's basically bringing awareness on how, you know, trauma can affect you, and also like ways of healing certain things. You know, because the thing is, on my healing journey, I didn't realize certain things about me in my present were actually because of my trauma. Does that make sense? So there was actually trauma responses in me. So I used to have commitment issues. I could not commit to someone. I've been married for 10 years now, but before that, I could not commit to someone because my heart chakra was blocked, had trust issues, things like that. But once I started getting into, you know, healing my chakras and energy healing, that all just melted away. Like, it was fine. But they are the kind of blockages trauma can, you know, it's basically we accumulate all these blockages from certain things over our life. And what healing does is it peels us like an onion. We peel back to become our true self again. So yeah, and that's the end. So I hope you guys got a lot out of it, or got something, even if it was just one golden nugget to change your perception on something, or, you know, take away some healing techniques. Yeah, I'll be very happy.
Okay, can we take one more question?
I can definitely do questions. Yeah.
Didar?
Yeah. Hi, Leticia. It was really enriching, and you know, I'm still stuck on that pendulum thing. So I was wondering, maybe I'm sure we have a time constraint now today, but maybe some other day. I mean, I feel I am facing few symptoms. Sharu knows me, right? I am a very energetic personality, right? And I experienced my personality wherein, you know, I'm working right beginning from the 6 in the morning and, you know, till 11 or 12 at night, and still while sleeping, I never used to feel tired. Though I used to feel sleepy, but never felt tired. But from past couple of months, now, you know, I generally, you know, make a joke with my family that now I feel like a tired dog in the night.
Yes. That's, I understand. And what was that?
I mean, I use this term as a joke that I feel tired just like a dog. You know, when the dog is running and
dog tired.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel that tiredness, and people say, you know, it could be due to diet and everything. I know the diet currently I'm following. This has been my diet my entire life. So certainly diet has not changed, and within this couple of months, these things are changing. And the one thing that I truly experiencing is I'm feeling lack of motivation now. I mean, you know, lack of motivation to do something big, or I mean, anything. So I'm feeling that lack. So I mean, I wanted that pendulum process to go through, so that, you know, I could be sure that these things are due to these certain chakras.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It definitely, like, you know, it could be one thing, but like, it definitely sounds like it could be an energy block coming to the surface more so. And yeah, I remember feeling like that. I just felt more fatigued, but it's different. Like, I feel like if it's a nutrition thing, you kind of feel it like a bit foggy headed or whatever, but then there's that energetic, like tired, like, and that's when, you know, like the motivation and that's when there's a blockage. It's holding you back, it's making you feel stuck, and you don't know what direction to go in. So it definitely sounds like, yeah, there's some kind of energy block there, definitely. Yeah. And did you say you work from like 6 in the morning to 11 at night? Is that right?
Yeah, that was my schedule. I mean, I used to travel like crazy. I used to travel 6 days in a week. 7th day, I'm back to my back at my home in the early morning. Sleep for like 4 or 5 hours, then again go back to office. Then, you know, finish the office work, and then again coming back at night, and next morning again starting traveling 6 in the morning. And I used to feel very energetic. I mean, I never felt tired, and now I don't know. I mean, things are different.
So also one thing that can happen, yeah, very energetic. Also, what's the word? I don't know, like, I'm not saying this is for you because I don't think it's you, but like there's a time where we can feel super energetic, but we're sort of being on fight or flight mode. Does that make sense? And then when we go through our healing journey, sometimes our body starts slowing down, and then all of a sudden we start feeling tired, but it's a transition that we're going through. Does that make sense? We're starting to level out, things like that, because like sometimes when we work so much, we work, but our body's trying to like rebalance, and like, because that's a bit of an imbalance, because that is a lot to be working. Does that make sense? When we start healing ourselves, our body's pulling ourselves back a little bit because we're focusing so much on work. But that can be also a thing like, you know, I'm not saying like working a lot is anything wrong with it, but like when having trauma in, you know, early on. So what was with me, I was always busy. Like for me, like when I was younger, I was always busy because I didn't feel the emotions. So I was always busy. I was never relaxing ever. So busy. That was my thing. Like, and some people can feel, you know, fill it with work or, you know, partying, alcohol, whatever, but there's a certain thing we're not feeling. So we dive in deep with something else. And for me, I know how to relax better nowadays, but I'm still geared for like being so busy all the time, because that's how I was naturally being, you know, brought up like that, because that's how I was, because having childhood trauma, because I didn't know how to feel it. So I'd be always busy. I'd be hanging out with friends. I'd be doing courses of doing this, doing that. And then when I'd relax, I didn't know how. I was just like, my mind was racing. I needed stimulation. So, but no, I'm just saying all these different things can happen as well. So, but when we do go through a transition, a healing transition, our body starts to slow down and heal a bit before it ramps up again. Yeah, it's an interesting transition that can go through. So I don't know how much you've started on your healing journey. So,
I mean,
but like that what's that?
That is the problem, because I haven't started much. So, I mean, this slowdown, I don't know. So,
but no, it definitely sounds like, yeah, emotional blockage, because I'm feeling stuck, unmotivated and things like that. Like, it sounds like you can live off hardly any sleep anyway and you're fine. So it's not that. So it's, you know, feeling unmotivated is more like an energy block. So like, yeah, it'd be interesting, yeah, for you to do that, you know, the pendulum reading on yourself and see what's, but I can send you that graph, you know, the pendulum, like, so, or did you write it down?
I tried to take a screenshot. I'll just check whether I pasted it or not.
Oh, but you recorded it too, didn't you? Yeah, that's
yeah, we'll share that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much, Leticia.
No worries.
Thank you so much, Leticia. I know that you have a daughter. I hope she's not waking up, and I'm really, I think we have stretched the time, and thank you.
We have. I'm sorry. I actually thought I was going to run under, but I actually ran over. So there we go.
Well, thank you for being so patient and for answering all our questions and queries. Yes, and thank you for taking such a powerful session. Yeah, it was very comprehensive, very powerful, and the way you have explained chakras and how they are, you know, how by healing our chakras we can heal our trauma, emotional wounds. So it's very powerful. Yeah, and I could see, like, you know, why alternative healing practices are gaining such widespread adoption these days, and why I've heard like few of the scientists, they're saying like why this is called the missing piece in the medicine, because, you know, by only pharmaceuticals and by chemicals you cannot heal people. There is much, you know, there's a deeper issue behind every physical ailment also. So we are glad that, yeah, that we are, you know, somewhere now accepting that. Yes, and I have seen, and even in my case also, I have seen that, you know, energy healing is something which is very, very powerful, because we all are energies if we go at quantum level. And yes, like chemical medicine, it doesn't have a side effects. So yes, so thank you for doing this wonderful work, and thank you for taking this session. We are truly honored and blessed to have you here in this space. And also thank you everyone for joining and for staying till the end. Yes, so lots of love and care to everyone. And thank you, Leticia. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
We are looking forward to more such interactions in future. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.